The life of 30-year-old fitness model Karina Vetrano from New York tragically came to an end. During one of her regular jogs, she was attacked by a maniac who, apparently, had been stalking the girl for a long time. It is known that Karina ran in the same neighborhood several times a week, and she shared her achievements on Instagram, indicating the location. Law enforcement agencies are convinced that the crime occurred because of social media, which the killer had been monitoring. Karina Ann Vetrano was born on July 12, 1986, in New York, to Philip and Kathy Vetrano. She had 2 brothers and a sister. Her father, a retired New York City firefighter, was one of the first responders at the 9/11 attack site. She attended Archbishop Malloy High School in Queens and graduated from St. John's University with a master's degree in speech pathology. An aspiring writer, she appeared in a short film in 2013, inspired by her writings and directed by her screenwriter friend, Petros Georgiadis. She lived in the same neighborhood as her parents in Queens and worked with autistic children in Manhattan as a speech pathologist. On August 2, 2016, late in the evening, Vetrano went for a run in Spring Creek Park, located less than a block from her home. She ran alone despite her father's concerns and the absence of her usual running partner due to a back injury. She was last seen alive around 5 p.m., just before entering the park. After she failed to respond to repeated calls and text messages, Vetrano's father notified a neighbor, an NYPD police chief, who initiated a search. Around 11 p.m., her father found her body concealed 15 feet from the trail. Her shorts had been removed, her underwear pulled down, and her sports bra pulled up, exposing her chest. Her body was covered in scratches and bruises. Evidence also indicated that she had been sexually assaulted. An autopsy conducted the next day confirmed that Vetrano died from strangulation, and her death was ruled a homicide. Detectives said it appeared Vetrano had been struck in the back of the head with a rock. Vetrano then engaged in a fierce struggle with her attacker, biting him so hard that her teeth cracked. Her hands grasped the grass as she was dragged off the trail. She had been strangled so forcefully that a handprint was found on her neck. The attacker's DNA was also found under her nails, on her back, and on her phone, which was found several feet away in the weeds. Police announced a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of her killer. Despite DNA being recovered at the crime scene, no leads were initially established even after searching local and national databases. Over the course of the investigation, more than 600 DNA samples were examined, none of which yielded a positive match. Additionally, the NYPD reviewed over 1,700 investigative reports and pursued over 250 leads. On August 31st, the police released a composite sketch of a person of interest, a man seen near Spring Creek when Vetrano was killed. A utility worker had seen the man emerge from the weeds and run past along Belt Parkway. On September 12th, the TV show Crime Watch Daily released home surveillance footage of Vetrano jogging near Spring Creek Park minutes before her death. It's the last known image of her alive. In December 2016, the FBI and the NYPD developed a suspicious profile of who might have killed Vetrano. Chanel Lewis was arrested 6 months after authorities matched his DNA with the victims. On February 4, 2017, the police announced that a suspect in Karina Vetrano's strangulation had been questioned and later added that Chanel R. Lewis, a 20-year-old black resident of Brooklyn, had been arrested and charged with second-degree murder. In the years leading up to the murder, Lewis had several run-ins with the police, including 3 summonses in 2013, 2 for violating rules in Spring Creek Park and 1 for urinating in public. Another incident occurred in May 2016 when a 911 caller reported a suspicious man with a crowbar in the backyards of several houses. A New York City police lieutenant living in Howard Beach also recalled him loitering in the area and peering into cars, and pursued him when Lewis's name and address were taken down by the police in an incident report. According to investigators, on August 2nd, Lewis left his home after arguing with his family and went to the park where he encountered Vetrano and then attacked her. Although it is believed to be a completely random encounter, it is not definitively known whether Lewis had ever seen Vetrano before or planned the attack beforehand. His mother recalled that when he returned home that night, he looked disheveled and his clothes were torn. Lewis claimed he was attacked by a group of men, although there was no evidence of such an attack, and a police report was never filed. The next day, on August 3rd, Lewis's father, a former school principal, took him to a local emergency room to treat scratches and cuts on Lewis's upper body. Hospital records confirmed that Lewis was treated by doctors the day after the murder and that he had also sustained a hand injury. Lewis's family continued to deny his involvement in the murder. His father claimed he only heard or read about Vetrano's death after his son was arrested for it. The first trial in the case of Karina Vetrano's murder began on November 5, 2018. Lewis pleaded not guilty to murder and sexual assault and faced 25 years or life in prison. 2 days later, jurors watched a video of Lewis's confession to the murder. On November 14th, forensic biologist Linda Razzano testified that Lewis's DNA had a 1 in 6 trillion chance of matching someone else's genetic profile. Dr. Margaret Pryal, who performed Karina Vetrano's autopsy, described Vetrano's injuries, including a compressed carotid artery in her neck. The next day, Deputy District Attorney Brad Leventhal asked Judge Michael Aloise to dismiss 9 of the charges against Chanel Lewis. 4 charges remained in the indictment, 1 for first-degree murder, 2 for second-degree murder, and 1 for first-degree sexual abuse. The first trial ended in a hung jury due to defense arguments and assertions that the DNA evidence was contaminated. On November 21, 2018, a judge declared a mistrial and preliminarily scheduled a retrial for January 22, 2019. The retrial was later postponed to March 2019. At the retrial, Chanel Lewis was found guilty of 2 counts of second-degree murder, 1 count of first-degree murder, and 1 count of sexual abuse after 5 hours of deliberation on April 1, 2019. Originally scheduled for April 17th, the hearing was expected to result in a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. However, a few days before the scheduled, and that concludes our coverage of this tragic story. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on cases like these. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with your friends and give it a thumbs up if you found it valuable. Thank you for watching.